The floss rule is, if you're taking notes, this is something that you want to write down. Any one syllable word that ends with an F, L, S, or Z, you have to double that last letter. Again, there's 3 aspects to this rule. The first aspect is it has to be a one syllable word that ends, has to be the last letter with an F, L, S, or Z. You have to double that last letter. One more time. Any one syllable word that ends with an F, L, S, or Z, double the last letter, okay? So we call it floss because 3 of those letters are in that word, F, L, and S. Z doesn't happen very often. Only 5 words that I know of. Jazz, fizz, frizz, and buzz, and fuzz. Those are the only 5 that I'm aware of that actually end in a Z. I think there might be a 1 or 2 more, but it's pretty rare. But ending with an F, an L, and an S, that is quite common. And when you see that in a one syllable word and it's the last letter, you're going to see that those letters are doubled. As in the word floss, it follows its own rule. So there you'll see it's a one syllable word. There's only 1 vowel in it. Oh, rats. I have to add that as part of the rule. So put your pencil back in your hand and add this. It has to have only 1 vowel. So that one syllable word has to have only 1 vowel in it. And if it ends with an F, L, S, or Z, you have to double that last letter. Let me show you some real world examples. For F, we have sniff, stuff, fluff. Each of those are 1 vowel words that end with an F. L, how about spill, spell, well. 1 vowel words that end with an L. S, we have dress, mess, miss. Okay, 1 vowel words that end with an F, L, S, or Z, we have to double the last letter. Now you know. Now you know, because you came to class today, that whenever you spell now and you're wondering, is this S supposed to be doubled, and if so, why? Now you know. So because I don't want your lesson to be too easy with only single syllable words, I'm going to throw in some multi-syllable words too. So I'm not meaning to trick you. I just want you to be exposed to both links so that you can recall that it only applies to single syllable words with only 1 vowel. So if you're spelling a longer word, a multi-syllable word, you're not going to double that F, L, S, or Z at the end. There is a time, just for your information, when you would double an S at the end, but that is some exceptions. The suffix less, the suffix ness, both are doubled at the end of a multi-syllable word, or if that last syllable is accented, like confess or unless. Not unless, but there are some exceptions with the S being doubled at the end of a multi-syllable word. But for our lesson today, when you see a multi-syllable word, don't double the last letter because it is so extremely rare. We're only going to double that last letter if it's at the end of a 1 vowel word, okay? So how excited are you for your new rule that you just learned today? Pretty fun. So now I would recommend you teach somebody else quickly, like right after class, that when you have a 1 syllable word with only 1 vowel and it ends with an F, L, S, or Z, you're going to double that last letter. So let's practice. We're only going to double the last letter if it's a 1 vowel, 1 syllable word. So together, our first word is spas. Spas sounds s, p, a, s, consonants. S, p, a, s. Now I can tell that it's a 1 vowel word and it ends with an F, L, S, or Z, so I already know that I'm going to double that last letter. I'm going to put floss. I think you can see it if I put it right up here. So we have F, L, and S that are doubled at the end, and Z, but that's rare. If you can't see that floss, let me know in the Q&A. Oh, you've already learned that? They called it something different. Yeah. I didn't name this. It's a common name for this spelling pattern, but it can also be called other things. All right, so your word is shift. Shift. If. Go ahead and spell shift for me and then put it in the Q&A. Shift. Nice, Layla. Good, Fatima. Nice, Ridwan. Excellent, Danielle. Yeah, good, Lily. Good, Azeb. Shift. Now don't let it autocorrect to shift. Shift. It's going to end with a f. Nice. Good, Sheldon. Yeah, so our consonants are sh. It's a consonant sound. I, f. Now an F at the end of a one vowel word needs to be doubled. And then we're going to spell our I never spelled this vowel sound. That was an A. This is an I. Shift. Okay, I apologize. Shift. A lot of people spelt it like this in the Q&A. That is not surprising because this I and the S sound are so similar sounding. They're so close in their pronunciation. The difference is just a subtle jaw drop from the I to the E. So my mouth, let me just show you. My mouth for the I is wider and thinner for I than the E. My mouth comes in a little bit and my jaw drops a little bit from I to E. I, E, I, E. Okay, so if I am saying I or E, I will try to really make that sound pronounced so that you can learn to hear it a little more easily. Okay, next word. Spantel. Spantel together. Sp-a-n-t-e-l. Spantel, consonants. Sp-a-n-t-e-l. Now, since we're doing our floss rule, let's focus on this last sound. Are we going to double that L? It is one of the letters that we're supposed to double, but it's not a one vowel word, so no. You might be tempted to because you know how to spell the word tell. And this word is spantel. So you can hear tell in there, and so your brain might just want to throw in two L's, but now you know you're in control of your brain, right? You're going to tell it, no. There's only one L at the end of this word because it's a multi-syllable word. It's only doubled here because it's a one vowel word. It follows the floss rule. So vowels. A is going to spell the short A sound. A is going to spell the short A sound right here because of those two consonants after it. Now, does this E need two consonants after it? It doesn't. As long as there's not a vowel here or here. If it's a consonant and then the end of the word, one single, it doesn't need to be doubled. You don't need two consonants as long as it's a consonant and then the end of the word. So there's spantel. Your word is trafes. 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 Go ahead. Oh, I was following my own orders. I was spelling my own word. Trafes. And then put it in the Q&A for me. Trafes. No, that was probably my bad, not yours, Clement, because I probably didn't say that sound well enough. Okay, so speaking of that, this is an right here. My jaw is dropped just a touch. Exit, elbow. Excellent. Trafes. Trafes. Yes, Lily. Good. Nice, Anne-Marie. Good, Road One. A lot of you need one more letter. There are a lot of you in the chat need one more letter. Figure out which one is needed. And then go ahead and spell it again if you want. Trafes. If you're like, what? One more letter? Well, I'll explain it to you. Yeah, good. Okay, so our consonants, we have t, a, f, s. Am I going to double this s? It is part of the floss rule, but it is not a short word, so no. I want this a to say right here. That's a short sound. Short vowel sounds require two consonants after them. If there's not two, we must make two. That is the second letter that a lot of people forgot. Because if there was only one F in there, then all of a sudden that A can't say anymore. It has to make its long sound, and that would say trafes. I don't want trafes, I want tra. Is a short vowel. Short vowels require two consonants. If there's not two, make two. I apologize for my cold, my dripping water from my eyes. And then is spelled with an E. Just fine. You don't need to double the S because it's a consonant in the end of the word. Okay. Next, together, our word is plef. Plef. P, O, F, like Frank. Plef. Consonants. P, O, F. I can see that that is part of the floss rule, and it's okay that you can't see it here anymore. I'm kind of glad that that went up and you can't see it anymore, because I want you to learn to just think about how to spell floss in your mind, and that's how you can remember what letters are doubled. It's those three consonants in the word floss, F, L, and S, okay? So yes, F is one of those letters in floss, one of those consonants, so we do have to double it because it's at the end of a one vowel word. And then our I should have said, I should have pronounced that even bigger or more pronounced. With my jaw dropped a little bit. Exit is an E. Plef. Okay. Your word is strill. So this is an this one is not an it's an I. Strill. Go for it. Strill. Strill. Yay. Aw, thank you. I'm going to really try hard not to sniff into the mic. I'm so sorry if I accidentally sniffle. Strill. So it's an I. So this is an with my jaw dropped. This is an I with my mouth in a long wide grin. Strill. Okay, we have a three-letter consonant blend here at the beginning. We have s, t, I, O. I'm going to double that last letter, which is our reading or spelling hack for the day. When you have a one vowel word that ends with an F, L, S, or Z, you have to double the last letter. And then this is an I, like itchy or igloo. Strill. Okay, if you didn't get it, you got close. You got close. And as long as you can understand it when I say it, then that is progress. After, if I explain it. Okay. How about, let me see here. How about you do this one on your own? Show tell. Show tell. Show tell. I'm going to mute the mic so I can sniff. Hopefully that muted and you didn't hear me. Show tell. Show tell. Good. Show tell. Yeah. Yeah. My jaws dropped. Show tell. Show tell. Now it's not gonna look like this or this. This is how you spell the O sound at the end of words. This is how you double the L at the end of small words. This is not the end of show, and this is not a short word. So neither of these apply. Show tell. Okay, you're getting so much knowledge. You're learning how to spell any word, not just a word. All right. Yeah, there we go. So consonants are sh, o, t, e, o. Oh, can this O say O in this spot? It sure can, because there's another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. So that O can make its long sound and say O right there just fine. Eh is spelled with an E. I don't need to double that L because it's not a one vowel word. You got that, didn't you? You got that. I don't see anybody with a double L. Do you know what that means? This is not an easy rule to learn, but you got it. Within 30 minutes, you now know, don't you, that if you have a one vowel word that ends with an F, L, S, or Z, you double that last letter, that last consonant. If it's a longer word, you don't most of the time. Sometimes an S, but that's another lesson. Now I wanted to spend just the last couple minutes reviewing what we learned last time, just to kind of keep it in your mind, because beginning next month, we're going to be applying all of the rules. So last time, and if you weren't here, this is going to sound complicated. So go back and watch the video. But as a review, because it was a little complicated, I want to just keep refreshing your memory so that it won't sound complicated anymore. The more you hear it, the more your brain will go, yeah, I already know that. Okay, so we learned the picnic chicken basket rule, which is for spelling k in the middle. When you're spelling k in the middle of a word, you start, your first choice is a C. However, if the next letter is an E, I, or Y, then that C can't say k in that spot. So then your next choice is a CK. However, a CK has to come after a short vowel. If that's not the case, your only option left is a K. So let me say that again. For spelling k in the middle, try a C first. If it works, stop, you're done. But if that next letter is an E, I, or Y, it's going to force that C to say S, and we're spelling k. So if a C won't work in that spot, your next option is a CK. However, a CK can only come right after a short vowel. If that letter right before it is not a short vowel, you have to spell it with a K. Here is how it looks. There you can see an example. For picnic, we stopped with the C because the next letter is not an E, I, or Y. So if it works, stop, you're done. For chicken, we couldn't spell it with just a C because that would say chissen. So we have to use a CK, which works just fine right there because it comes right after a short vowel. For basket, a C wouldn't work, a CK wouldn't work, so our only option left is a K. All right, and then today we learned the floss rule, which is if you have a one vowel word that ends with an F, L, S, or Z, you double that last letter. Welcome to your new knowledge, my friends. Go teach it to somebody else so that it will just strengthen and get more solid in your long-term memory. You're amazing, as always. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, my friends.